I actually panicked and turned to the midwife and was asking, is this normal? It felt like my lungs, my kidney, my heart were all gonna just drop back out my... Here are some things I didn't know about giving birth until it was too late. After you give birth, you're a lot. Why did I think it would just be like a period? It's suddenly like after you've given birth, all your periods come back at once. And you have to wear basically nappies. Non-stop, heavy. I had a baby at 17. So I was just naturally naive and stupid. I didn't really know anyone that had ever given birth. But anyway, I didn't know an epidural was a tube in your back. I thought an epidural was an injection. So I had put on my birth notes, I don't want an epidural. I said I didn't want one. While I was in labour, I begged for one. I thought I was begging for an injection in my arm. I didn't even know what I was begging for. Stupid. I didn't know you give birth to the placenta. I thought the placenta, I knew what a placenta was. I knew it existed. I thought it just came out with the baby. I didn't see it, I didn't look, but I've Googled since. They're massive. Ugh.
Slaney's labour experience wasn't all bad though. She managed to escape from real pain.
Another thing, after you give birth, the first time you stand up, it feels like everything's gonna fall out. It felt like my lungs, my kidney, my heart were all gonna just drop back out my... Like, I actually panicked and turned to the midwife, explained how I was feeling and was asking, is this normal? I felt like an Easter egg. I just felt hollow and empty inside, like everything was gonna fall. I didn't know that while you give birth, you're can tear. My daughter was 5 pound 10. She wasn't premature, she wasn't too early, she was just really small. I thank God every day she was 5 pound 10. That's why my didn't tear. Another obvious thing that I never thought about was how painful showering would be after you give birth. I don't even have to really go into that. It's pretty obvious. Ow! I mean, who knew that after you push a baby out of your vagina, it will hurt to shower? Who knew?
Slaney thought the worst was over after giving birth, but the experience lasted beyond labour pains.
Another thing I didn't know, whole milk pain. When my filled up with milk, I swear to God, my boobs were 3 cup size bigger. 3 cup size, they were beautiful. The first month after I gave birth, my mum had to wash my hair for me because I could not lift my arms up over my head. It was so painful. Here's another thing I didn't know. So my waters broke naturally while I was in the hospital. You know in the movies when a woman's just walking and it just bursts open? That did actually happen to me. I needed to push, so I pushed, my baby came down and the waters popped over her head. But I didn't know that it's more common for midwives to have to break your waters for you. So when you're pushing your baby, you can't control it, right? When you need to push, you cannot stop it. And one final thing that I can think of off the top of my head is you can get back contractions. My contractions started in my back. I didn't know that was a thing. For a few hours they were in my back and then they spread to my front, but they stayed in my back as well. That probably blew my mind the most. The back contraction thing. That was something I was not prepared for. Anyway, that's my list for now. I'm sure I will think of many more things.
There are so many things people overlook when they are about to give birth. It's very important to get the right information and be prepared for anything. Even simple things like having a shower or standing up can be an ordeal after having a baby. As you can imagine, a lot of people had questions and shared their own experiences with childbirth. One of the top comments said, "Thanks for telling me this, because when I asked my mum, she says it'll hurt but you'll be fine. Doesn't explain anything else." A lot of comments commended Slaney's honesty and agreed that the video had turned them off childbirth. For example, a comment said, "This is the most educational thing I've heard in my whole life," whilst another comment seemed to become very wary after Slaney's comments. This comment read, "I'm about 6 months in now. I guess it's too late for me to back out." They weren't the only ones wary. Another comment said, "Thanks, I was having baby fever. Now I'm back to reality." A top comment also mentioned another issue they had experienced and said, "You forgot how painful it is to go to the toilet. What things did you wish you knew before you or your partner had children?" Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, then be sure to follow our other social pages for more content like this. And if you have any of your own videos you'd like to share, be sure to send them in. As always, thanks for watching Happiest.